Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to thank you, the panel, for giving me this opportunity My name is Bahtiyar Omer. I'm Uyghur. I was born in Urumqi, China. In 2000, I come from Right now, the name is Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. Yeah. Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region is under the ruling of China government. It's located in the northwest region and is under strong human rights problem. We cannot possibly imagine China government heavily have a strict order against the Uyghur people. China government conduct strong, heavy, violent acts to oppress the Uyghurs. For example, locate more than 100,000 Uyghur ladies to the mainland to work, or also displace the Uyghur people's tradition, education, religion. And the education system, they have already eradicated the Uyghur language. For example, the eradication of the word kashgar, which is used to describe the Uyghur buildings. Men are not allowed to grow beard, and women are not allowed to wear headscarf. I'll take an example to share with you. This is just the tip of the iceberg. My wife and I are one of the witnesses of the July 5th, 2009 violence in Xinjiang. A simple introduction of my wife. My wife's name is Gomira Imin. She's also Uyghur. She was born on May 17th. In 2009, Gomira was captured from her home. July 14, 2009, Gomira was captured from her home because she attended the July 5th peaceful demonstrations. She witnessed the July 5th events from beginning to end, and she called me several times from the site. In April 1st, 2010, Chinese government sentenced her to life's imprisonment. Currently, she is in 1327-12 East Station Road, New City District, Urumqi, China, Autonomous Region Women's Prison. In July 5th, 2009, at about 4 p.m. local time, I called my spouse to check on her. On that day, she had informed me that she was located in People's Square in Urumqi. Remembering our compatriots who innocently lost their lives in Shaoguan. She remarked that this is a legal demonstration. We're carrying China's red flag in our hands. We propagated the demonstration 4 days prior, and the government made no communication of its position. At that time, I did not believe her, and I replied, "How can this be a legitimate demonstration? You best return home immediately in case trouble breaks out soon." But she insisted on standing with her fellow countrymen. At this time, they were chanting, "Uyghur, Uyghur." About 2 hours later at 6 p.m., when I called her for the third time, she said, "The police are using force in an attempt to disband the crowds. The situation is very urgent. I cannot communicate right now. I think I'll go home. At this time, however, she was unable to return home because the police had blocked the streets. When I called her the fifth time, I could clearly hear shouting and gunfire. The situation was chaotic. She said, "There are many casualties. I've seen many corpses. All the demonstrators are fleeing. Though I'm unclear what has happened, I'm with another woman. The others have disappeared. We have no way to go home, and we can only go upward. The streets and gates have been blocked by the police, and only Uyghurs are on the streets. There are police behind us, rushing us out of the city." At this time, the police were pushing demonstration out of the city. The next time I called, she was very frightened. It was about 8:30 p.m. She couldn't say anything and she was trembling. We had nowhere to go. We had nowhere to hide. She hung up immediately. Around 9 p.m. I called again. And this time she was at a youth park in a building near the events. She said, "Everyone is fleeing to the horse track. It is already dark, but the street lights are not on." At this time, I could hear the police siren and gunshots from the phone. After 10 p.m., we talked again. She said, "There are lots of police and cops outside. Countless buses, armed vehicles, fire trucks are moving around. The buses are all empty, and police cars are ordering residents not to turn on lights or open windows." At about midnight, I worried for her and I called again. She said, "I can hear the gunshots from far away. Buses are driving back and forth. Fire trucks are hosing water on the streets. Just like this, the horror passed, but more scary things were to come." On the noon second day, July 6th, there were no one on the streets, and she came home. Phone lines and internet connections were stopped. Cell phones could not send text messages, and calls would connect after many tries. On July 6th, ethnic Han's residents started coming to the South Gates and Third Line Way. Our house is in an apartment complex between South Gates and Third Line Way. The nearby storefronts had been blown up by the Hans, and people did not dare to come out. My wife also moved to another house. Police blocked the entire Old Town district to Uyghur. They only controlled the streets and did not care about the beatings by the Han people. Some Uyghurs were wounded on the streets. Some days we could not communicate. We could not communicate for a couple of days, and we could not leave the house. We could only stay home and make phone calls. But then I called many times. In July 14th, At that time, we did not know what happened, and we looked for her for a very long time. We thought she may have been murdered. After the 7th massacre, many people found Uyghur corpses in the gutters, garbage dumps, and other places outside the city. A 3-year-old boy was found among the dead. 3 months later, we finally received news from her. On April 1st, 2010, the government imprisoned her for life. A misdemeanor was first, unlawful possession second, attempt to divide the country was third, selling national secrets last. Actually, she basically did not have this violation because she was vacationing with her father in Aksu. She didn't return to Uramuj until 2nd of July. I have a record of our text message confirmed this. We cannot believe. The government afterwards. Okay. Yeah, okay. No problem. Afterwards, government sent out 3 million armament to the streets to block all information. On the 6th of July, websites were being blocked. Pictures and short media messages were all blocked. Websites and all informations were being blocked. On only July 6th, 1,435 Uyghurs were arrested. Afterwards, they rounded up thousands of people. To this day, this roundup has not ceased. Government continued to use armies to oppress the people of Uyghur. There are many students among the oppressed, and there are many innocent women in the jail. There are many who have died in prison. Right now, the Uyghur education and culture, religion, need to have a strong rescue. You can imagine in my situation, a lawyer that is away from her home country. There are many other civil servants who have to leave their home and try to fight for the rights of Uyghur from outside.